start the, okay. So, sharing my screen. Welcome everyone. Welcome to section 56. Our speaker for today will be Mr. Rakesh Tage, and the topic of today is very interesting. You can see the whole slide is filled with this name. When one agent is not enough, building multi-agent copilots. So hope to hear very interesting things about Copilot and agents today. So I'm sure you all guys will be having a lot of questions about this new technology, and we'll also talk about the MCP, I believe, Rakesh. MCP is definitely behind all the agents nowadays. So before we jump into the topic for the today and hand over to Rakesh, just a quick introduction about our group. And before that, just a few disclaimer for the group. Views expressed are from the speakers and do not are from the speakers and do not represent views from their employers or Microsoft. Contoso demo data and lab environments are used for these events. We don't use any client's environment or client's data. Any recommendation coming out of session should not be applied to production environment directly and should be tested in a sandbox first. Session will be recorded on Teams, and if you do not consent to be part of the recorded session, then this is the good time to disconnect. And one more thing, session will be recorded and posted on YouTube as well on the social media in next 2-3 days. So if you don't want to be recorded, don't want to be on social media, maybe keep your email hidden or name hidden and camera off, and you can still stay in the background. Right, so a little bit about our group. We have 4 volunteers in this group, Rachit, Umesh, myself, and Deepak. We are on LinkedIn, as you must be seeing every day. We keep on posting things about our sessions. We are on Twitter. New name is what, X. And we are on YouTube as well. So all the videos go to YouTube as well. So if you want to catch up with our previous videos, they all exist there. So you can see this. This is our page on YouTube, channel on YouTube, and these are all recent videos. We have been talking about agents, MCPs, and AI in general in last few sessions. So those are my like favorite topic nowadays. I think you guys also must be thinking about AI nowadays. So yeah, so not wasting much time, handing over to Rakesh from here. A little bit about Rakesh. Rakesh is MVP, and he's also a fast track recognized solution architect, which is a very renowned like achievement, I would say. Very few people have that in the world. So Rakesh is one of them. It's a really great honor, Rakesh, to have you in our group today and to hear from you. Rakesh, handing over to you.
Thank you, Satya, Rachit, Umesh, and Deepak, and thank you for the warm welcome. I think Rachit and I had a discussion almost a year back that can we have a session on our user group predominantly focusing on and the guiding team to address how they can become a the fast track recognized solution architect. But the technology is changing fast, everybody busy, not paying attention to learning themselves. So I thought this year, since we are talking about agents and a co-pilot, why don't you jump into the session? Maybe it's a 56th session, right? So I thought let's be part of this user group and try to learn and share whatever the learning that I had. I may or may not be accurate because AI is still learning, right? And everybody is trying to understand how the AI works and how it is going to be applied for our day-to-day activities. So I'll just quickly share my screen, and I can see a couple of familiar name in the attendees, right from Debashish and Sandeep Pal. And thank you very much, guys, for joining. And I'll just quickly share my screen and then we will go through the slide deck. So as Satya depicted his point of view on the AI, predominantly on the generative AI, everybody's learning different tools and the business use cases, right? But in today's topic, where I will talk about more on the agentic thought process. Okay. Before we get into a recording mode, Satya and I, we were discussing that name of this session look like kind of maybe a very kind of a Indian film name. Yes, it does, because I thought let's have some sort of fancy name so that might help attendees to understand the purpose of these sessions. Although I will walk you through the use cases and the scenarios that I have tested myself by building the multi-agent scenario, I may and may not be the outcome of this agents accurate as we are expecting, because everybody's learning, right? But I'll see how best we can build in next 40 or 45 minutes or so. So how I divided this session? I divided the session into 3 segments. The very first segment of this session would be we will try to understand your understanding about the agents and the multi-agents. That's the first segment, kind of a poll. Second segment would be we will quickly run through the slide deck. I have a couple of slides added because I always believe that if you just set the context, that context reflects your practical knowledge, right? So I added a couple of slides. Those slides I try to refer again using another AI tool if those are really using day-to-day activity, different tools, not very specific for Microsoft technologies, but other tools from other hyperscaler. Probably you can understand and see how I created those by putting a prompts. And that's what my learning is all about, rather than I building something from scratch. Third segment would be the list of use cases and the practicality of demo. Okay. And as we are trying to cover all these 3 segments in 50 minutes or 60 minutes or so, definitely there has to be a backup. So I already created a backup agents for everyone, but still we'll see how we can cover this list of use cases, and those use cases definitely will help you to understand and build your own multi-agent scenarios in case if you are learning or if you are trying to implement for your customers. Just to start with the understanding the pulse from everyone, you can use your mobile phone, try to scan the QR code. I just trying to understand how you are good at in terms of understanding the multi-agent scenario and what ideas and the thought process, rather the concepts that immediately comes to your mind when someone talks about the multi-agent. Maybe we'll spend 2 or 3 minutes or at max 5 minutes. I think the poll is already active. Just try to use this QR code and share your thought process. Okay. Someone is seeing Satya.
Sorry, I typed my name in the wrong field.
That's fine. I thought, no, but you are a multi-agent kind of a guy, right? And I know. So someone is typed the number. Okay, might be a mistake. Too many tokens will be used. Okay. Agents for different business processes. Okay. Automated end-to-end process. Remind me of the agents from Matrix movie. Okay. One agent calls the other agent. Agent for different business processes, and then question mark. It'll take 2 minutes more and then we'll move on. Then we are saying invoke on need basis. Agent talking to agent. That is actually a behavior.
I added specialization. One agent specialized in doing one thing?
That's correct. I think that's the right answer. Okay, that's actually stands the multi-agents. Okay, we'll wait for one more minute and then we'll quickly move on. Multiple agent linked to one agent. Okay,
What are the prices,
zero
Rakesh?
agents.
What are the prices?
Prices.
You vote for the right answer.
No, I could see. I think many of you having their own thought process and the ideas about the multi-agent. But I think the right answer is the specialization, right? As we talked about, let me just move on the next slide. So as we move on and we are learning as an agent, right, which is nothing but the autonomous system running in the background and helping humans to automate some of the mundane tasks, but not to rely and not to ignore the human approval and sort of thing, right? So keeping always human in the loop. But having said so, what if you have a multiple business processes talking to each other? That is what our list of use cases today. And you have a specific thought process for one specific idea of agent, and then keeping everything together, right? That's where the specialization of the process for the multi-agent scenario comes into picture. So in terms of the agenda today, as we covered the nice introductions about me, and thanks again to entire India user group community and the leaders here. Then we'll talk about the how the multi-agent patterns works in the Copilot Studio. I will try to make sure that I will not go into more technical jargons. I know I need to balance the both, but I'll see how best I can deliver that slide to everyone. But the idea is to understand how this multi-agent pattern works, and if you understood, maybe it will be a kind of a cakewalk for you to build your multi-agents in the Copilot Studio. Then we'll also talk about creating and the configuring the child agents to handle the specialized tasks. You might have heard this term called child agent, but we will go beyond the child agent today, and we'll see how we can connect the other agents that you have and how we can tie up both the agents in a typical business process word we always call as handoff and trigger, right? So one business process ends, and then that ends as outcome handoff and triggers with the other processes, right? So we will see that as well, how we can build the connected agents across the multiple data sources and the external systems. And I will also give you a bunch of tips as a best practices, the naming convention, the responsibilities, boundaries, so on and so forth. And towards the end, we will have few questions. If you guys have any specific question, I think Satya rightly mentioned that if you have any specific question on the MCP, we'll see if the time allows, we will try to address that as well. But I think the session will not talk about much on the MCP, to be honest with you. It will be more on the predominantly on the Copilot Studio, multi-agents patterns, and how to build your multi-agents in the scenario of your use cases. I'll talk about myself. So I have started my career in this industry almost 24 years ago. I started my career as a VC++ programmer, and I was literally today also I'm a fan of the VC++ programming, predominantly in the Microsoft Foundation classes library. That's where I did multiple years building the applications for connecting the to the databases and all the stuff. Uh, Post that, I started exploring myself into the area of the ERP back in 2002 or 2003. And that is where I got a first breakthrough with one of the ERP called Infor. Nowadays it's Infor. Earlier it was a different company altogether. And that's where I started learning how this application programming interface works for any ERP, where a partner needs to focus on the specific area of the use cases, and product company build something, everything they build, and you have to just extend the capability, and then gradually post that in for I got a chance to work with Dynamics 365 finance and operation, but I started with Accepta 3.0 and so on and so forth. I'm also a founder and the leader of Mumbai, India Dynamics 365 and Power Platform community or a user group, whatever you may call it out. Recently, I also certified into the Agentic AI Business Solution Architect exam in order to understand how the other technology stack works, not only just Copilot Studio, but also the Azure Foundry and the Microsoft Office 365 agents with its non-declarative agents on the declarative agents, so on and so forth. I'm also a lifelong learner and blogger and a YouTuber. I learn a lot many things, not only specific for Dynamics, but also the other area of the technology. You will see how the slides that I prepared and the technology that I use to generate the image and everything. You can scan this QR code if you really want to connect with me. Apart from this, all these technicality and everything, I'm also Microsoft MVP and fast track recognized architect since last more than 3 years now for Dynamics 365 AI ERP. Apart from this, I'm also yoga practitioner in my free time every day, but predominantly focusing on Saturday, Sunday, where I try to play a role of yoga practitioner as well. Now let's to start with the problem statement, right? In the poll, we have seen many of you try to share your thought process, and that thought process actually helped me to understand the idea that comes to and the concept that comes to your mind, right? So you can see this slide deck, you can read this slide from your left to right. Here the assumption here that I assume so that those who join and trying to understand what that multi-agent is all about, I'm pretty sure you must have built a simple agent in the Copilot Studio. That's where the left side of the portion of the slide indicates, where you can see the problems. The problems come with a bunch of different information of the business processes that has been tightly coupled with the one single agent, right? So you can see these three boxes that try to lay down where we define when we create any agent, right? In the Copilot Studio, we define the lot many instructions. But what if I want to infuse a lot many instructions for different processes, that will result definitely into the bloated instructions, and it will lacking the capability which we are looking for, providing the instructions so that a large language model can input take that input and then return that as results, and that will result into the agent's output, right? Definitely it will lose the context the way we are expecting, and it will also try to call the different tools in the agents, whatever the agent that you're going to build, right? And definitely it will lead to an area of cannot parse the overlapping the domain knowledge and so on and so forth. It will also lead to an area of the hallucination. I will not talk about much on the hallucination part, but the idea is to if the user is expecting one output, but eventually the output that we have seen from the agents is not the contextual the way I'm asking. That's where it is resulting into the hallucination area, right? Where the generative model filling the knowledge gap when the domain specific boundaries are blur. Now in this multi-agent scenario, you can see these three figures that I try to draw here, which actually define the three areas, I would say three layers. One would be your orchestration, second would be your child agent, and third would be your connected agent, right? And how those agents are look like, those are basically specialized into a specific area, right? And that specialized area, it means it will have a specific instructions so that I can get the right information. However, that information can be hand off and triggered to the different, the area of the business, that agent, so that end-to-end the chain of that agent can be run through in the background autonomously or by putting or adding some natural language prompt. But when it comes to the difference between the child and the connected agents, I just try to define the 5 areas. Those 5 areas might not be sufficient for understanding, but just to depict the view before we get into the presentation and the demo. First would be your location, then would be your purpose and the context passing and what is the best for it, right? So what I have defined here in this slide deck, you can see the 4 layer that I talked about, right? The first layer will be your orchestration. Second layer would be your specialized knowledge and the instructions and the knowledge repository that you are providing to your agent. Third would be if you have any specific external data, and the fourth would be your analytics integrations. In the analytics integrations, you can think of like a Microsoft Fabric. I'll see how we can cover that demo as well. So I just defined a bunch of pictures here. although we will go through in the product in the Copilot Studio, but I thought it would be good if I can just quickly run through at a very high level so that we can connect the dot when we will navigate to the Copilot Studio. Okay, so in the first layer, as I mentioned, the orchestrator and the guardrails, that is where we will define that the agent that we are going to create should not use any sort of information from the web, as well as it should not use any general knowledge. What it means that the model that has been trained on a specific, it is dated, right? So that information should not be used when I start using my agents. So that's where it requires a specialized knowledge. It should not use your general knowledge. That is where the routing logic comes into picture. I just depict the view here, how the routing logic will work. For an example, if I just ask, provide an input, what are the starting prices for the specific area, the trigger will happen here in the topics, and based on the definition of the variable, whether it's a local and the global variable, it will automatically define whether it's a United States path or the UK path. Okay. Then in the second layer, we will also see how to create different agents for a different geography of the area and for a different domain purposes, and what conditional rule can be defined in the topic, and how that information can be defined in that topic, so that it is very critical for not to use that sort of information if someone pass that information in the topic. In the third layer, we will also see in the external agents. I already created an agent. Just try to use some of the information from the Dataverse. I use accounts and the contact entity. I will quickly run through that as well. But the idea is to give you how that external agent can be also connect as a layer 3. In the layer 4, if the time allows, we will see how that information can be connected to the Microsoft Fabric. It does require the additional license, which I don't have, but I'll quickly run through the process, how you can connect the external agents such as the Microsoft Fabric data agent. Okay. Now, in order to have, I'll just quickly run through this slide. We'll come back to the slide here. Now, we will go through these 4 use cases in today's demo. First, we will start and we will set up, we will create a sales assistant agent. The idea of this agent is to establish the primary, rather the parent agents. So that's how we are parent agent, and it will assist your sales persona to try to quickly retrieve the information that you have provided as a guided data, right? Then a second use case, we will try to create another agent, which is nothing but the agent which will give you information about your product, assuming the fact that you're talking about any sort of product, right? And how that agent can be connected to connect to the parent agent, and with that information, how that region specific information can be retrieved for the product. For an example, if there can be a global product repository, or there can be a segregation of the product repository as per the locations and the city, how the sales assistant agent can help with the parent agent, right? In the third use case, we will talk about a completely a different use case where we will try to use the Dataverse. I already loaded the demo data, modify a bunch of data. I will quickly run through that as well. And we will try to also see the indexing capability of the Dataverse, the table indexing capability, how to enable it by using the filters in the Dataverse, and how those can be created as another agent, and how that agent can be connected to your parent agent, which is your sales assistant agent. Okay. And if time allows, we will quickly see how that agent can be connected to the external agent, which is your Fabric data agent. Okay. I'll quickly move on to my next slide. Although in the previous slide, you probably would have seen the US and the UK market, but this particular scenario, which I'm trying to walk you through as part of these 4 use cases, I thought if it can be connect to our Indian geography and Indian regional AI agent frameworks. So you can read this slide from your left to right. First, we will start with the parent agent, which is nothing but user will ask some of the questions which parent address will automatically route that request to the child agent. Now here you can see we are going to create 3 child agent. Each and every agent will have their dedicated role. One of the agent would be for a specific region of the Karnataka, that is for a Bangalore, which will connect only for a specific information of my product. Those are required for within the region of my Karnataka. Then we will have another agent that is for a Maharashtra, for a specific for Mumbai and Pune, where that agent will have the specific information of the product, which will give you the specific information based on the input that has been given to the parent agent. Third agent would be Delhi and NCR, but I'm not going to create a three agent because it will take time for to manage everything into 60 minutes of bucket. But certainly we will create two a child agent, one for Karnataka region and second for Maharashtra region. We will also try to use our knowledge post, knowledge repository in order to get the product information from Flipkart, Amazon, and Reliance Digital. Then we will try to see how that can help the entire journey of my sales persona in order to see the real-time inventory tracking for bunch of product that I have added. One of the product that I've added is iPhone 15 and the OnePlus 12 and OnePlus 14 and 15 both. Then we will also try to see how that will help for a distributor and a retailer lookup and how it will help for the smart flow information, right? That's what the end-to-end agent workflow is going to be look like. Okay, I'll take a pause if anyone has any questions or a doubt in order to have the use case before I move on to the demo or the practicality aspect of that. No question?
No question, I think. We can keep on going.
Okay, so let me switch the gear and we will move on to the product. We'll stay our 30 minutes. We'll see how best we can cover up. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, so this is a landing page of the Copilot Studio. For those who have not seen earlier, for those people, this is a landing page where you can see the list of tiles and the list of options. You can see a multiple environments. In my case, I have created this dedicated environments where my all agent resides. What I typically use for the demonstration purposes. On the left hand side, you can see a bunch of agents where you can see all the agents that has been shipped by Microsoft and all the agents that has been created by me. You can see a couple of agents that I already created. And we will also start with the first scenario, right, which is a sales assistant. So for understanding and for the simplicity purpose, what I have done, I just drafted a bunch of prompt here so that I cannot make any mistake while typing, right? So rather than creating a blank agent here, I thought let's use the Copilot app here, which I'm asking my Copilot that create an agent that can assist my sales persona with getting the product information and the lookup accounts and the contact informations in the sales system. One of the tip that I would like to highlight here before you click on process and let the Copilot background process. I would call it the Copilot Studio provisioning process invoke. I would strongly recommend to go ahead and try to click on this gear icon and try to specify your language and the solutions because it really help or rather always helpful for application lifecycle management in future and also define the schema name. So I'll say the schema of India user group and I'll update here. Okay, now I'm done with the important setting by clicking on this gear option. Now I'll go ahead and create the agent. This is my parent agent, right? Now it will go ahead and try to create and provision the agent for me, right? Now you can see here while it is finishing up the setting up the context of that main agent, it not only just created the description, but it does also created the name of these agents, which is a sales support assistant one, because I created a bunch of agents earlier, right? And it has automatically set up. I'm going to use the Claude Sonnet 4.5 model purposefully because of the deep reasoning capability that I wanted to see here. And you can see it has nicely created the instructions. I'm not going to in more detail because we have seen this in the previous presentation. I'll not spend too much time here. One of the options that I would like to highlight here, as you have seen in my slide deck, how we can prevent the hallucination, right? Another tip for you, you can go ahead into the setting and navigate to the generative AI, which is a default tab, and navigate to the option called knowledge. By default, when you create an agent, automatically both the options, one of the option is use general knowledge, and second option is use information from the web. One of the options is typically indicates where the AI was trained on so and so date. Like I'm using the Claude Sonnet 4.5 model, so it will start using that. But in my case, I don't want to use both the options because I don't want my prompt start using the general knowledge or the information from the web. So I'm going to switch off both the options here. And this is another tip for all of you to prevent hallucination. If at all you want to specifically create your own agents for your purpose, because turning off this model of and the web knowledge really help you to avoid the hallucination. Okay, I'll close this now. So now we are pretty much done with this. I'm not going to change any instructions here because I'm happy with the instructions, and that is not the idea of this today's topic is all about, right? I'll rely on the agents because I already provided the required prompt here. Now, as a next step, what you need to do, you have to navigate to the topic because in the slide deck, you might have seen we have routed to a layer 1, to layer 2, layer 3, and layer 4. Right now, we are on the layer 1. So these are the default topic. I'm going to create a new topic here. Let's start with the topic from blank. I'm going to create this topic from blank here. And for this topic from blank, I'm going to select uh, this change trigger option because by default it comes with the agent chooses. I'll click on this. You will see a bunch of triggers here, but for the discussion of today's topic, I'm going to use for it is redirected to, because our use case is creating the multiple agents. However, the multiple agents having a different instructions and the different purpose as per the business need. And we wanted that child agents to be routed through only the first agent, right? So that is where I wanted to purposefully go with the option called it's redirected to. Once it is done, maybe we can go ahead and change the name of the topic. Maybe I can specify the name of the topic would be, say, sorry, market. Once it is done, as a next step, we have to start asking the questions. I'm going to add ask questions. In the questions, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the question which I copied here in the chat, that let's say my question is, what market are you wanting information is, because I really wanted to have the information waiting from a different market, right? So I'm going to do that here. Let me go ahead and do the information of this. And then I'm going to add the multiple options here. I'm going to ask first option as maybe a Maharashtra option for user. And then I'm going to add another option for user as Karnataka. Okay. Now I'm done with the option. As you can see, it automatically start building the condition down below. And you can see the user save the user response. So whenever we start prompting to this agent, user will should see the response, right? So what I can see, I can just go ahead and just click on these options. And I'm going to change the name of this variable because var1 is a default name. I'll say it's market. You can see the bunch of options here. Right now, our use case is focusing on the topic of the global information rather than the limited scope here. I'm going to select the global topic here. Okay. And I'm also going to specify the information received from the external sources, and I'm going to enter my variable condition here. So I'm going to copy paste my variable condition. Sorry, I'm going to copy paste this here. What it says, I'll explain in detail as we go along. My variable description says that my market, the market that the sales associate is requesting information about it. So anything and everything that topic and the condition that I'm going to add, I expect agents should only talk about that particular condition of that variable and should not go beyond that. That's the reason I wanted to specifically define these variable descriptions. Since I'm done with this, I'll just go ahead and save these conditions. As you can see here, I'm done with Maharashtra here. I'm going to add another one, which is Karnataka here. In this, let me just go back and double check. Yes, everything is there. I close this. If any additional conditions nodes added, go ahead and delete it. In my case, I do have only two conditions added. One is for Maharashtra, another is for Karnataka. I'll go back to the slide deck so that everybody can correlate what I'm talking about. We're talking about this Karnataka and the Maharashtra regions here. Therefore, I added these two conditions. I'm going to go ahead and save these conditions here. Now, since we are ready with this topic that we selected as a next step, now you have to start instructing the conversation to start, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this same topic and I'm going to click on the another topic called conversation start. In the conversation start topic, I'm going to create another condition in the topic management. In the topic management, I'm going to redirect this topic to the another one, and you can see the global topic that we define, which is the markets. Here I can see I'm going to select this as a market here. Okay. Now I connected my main topic with the another topic called conversation start, because I want my this primary agent or my parent agent should focus only a specific topic, that is Maharashtra and the Karnataka region. Now I connected both. I'm going to save this option now. So this is also pretty much done now. Okay. What I can do, I'll just start a new session for the testing purpose. And I'm going to ask the question. I think I already have the prompt available here. I'm going to copy paste here and see what market are you waiting in. I'm just click on Maharashtra or Karnataka based on the condition. So I'll just click on the Maharashtra, and it will, you can see it automatically start figuring out that conditions because the region of the Maharashtra that I added in the condition. So this is where we are done with our first. I'll go back to the use case table, the first use case, right, where we define the parent agent, which actually helping the sales representative or the persona to quickly assess the information that they are looking for, okay, for a specific region. Now let's move on to the second use case. In the second use case, I'm going to add the product information, as you can see here, for a specific, for a child agent. And for that child agent, I'll go back to the overview here and I'll navigate to the another tab called agent here. Okay. When you click on the agent tab, you will see a small button here, which is an add agent. And this add agents, our second scenario, which also allow you to create your child agent. So you can see a new child agent. The moment you click on the new child agent, it will start linking the information of the to the parent agent. So what you can do, a very similar kind of experience you will get here. You have to define the agent name. You have to define the descriptions, and you have to also define the variable that you have added in the parent agent. So again, for the quick purpose, I just define my Maharashtra product information agents. I'm going to also define the descriptions. You can read out the description as I depict in the presentation slide, and I will also quickly run through the instructions here. Will come later. So since I added the description here, the description is give me a product details, the pricing, the offers for product that are sold in the Maharashtra very specific for Mumbai and the Pune regions. Okay, I specifically define the description for this child agent, and in the advance, I'm going to set up the conditions for my global market. That is where I define where the condition is equal to my value of the Maharashtra. Okay. I can also go ahead and define the instructions here. I'll just quickly read out the instructions so that you guys can understand. Both the instruction for one agent, that is Maharashtra, and another agent, another child agent for Karnataka, both are same, but I'll just quickly run through. What I'm trying to ask this child agent, that you should only answer the questions for iPhone 16 and the Samsung Galaxy S23 and OnePlus 15, and not for 14 and 13. You might have wondered in the earlier infographic, I specifically highlighted the 14 because I thought the 14 would be available in the Mumbai and the Maharashtra region for OnePlus category of the mobile phone. But when I looked at the Flipkart, Amazon in India, and the Reliance Digital, I could not find that anything that in there available in their repository and the inventory. So I later on I changed it. So that's the reason I modified the instructions just before this demo. But I clearly highlight that provide me detail and the statistics, any product not offered or detail about the model for outside the Maharashtra. So I specifically highlighted, you just talk about Maharashtra. I don't want to understand and I don't want to see anything outside of the Maharashtra, right? Once it is done, this agent is ready, and I also provided another instruction here, which this agent should only respond to the product details and so on and so forth. So it should not go and cross the boundary because Flipkart has many other products, right? And Amazon as well. I don't want to go into more that details, so on and so forth. So that's where I'm done with it. I'm going to save this information here. So far, so good. Any questions here? Okay, I guess so. No questions, right? So before we move on to the child agent, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the knowledge here, right? And in the knowledge, I'm going to select the public website. And the public website, let me just go back and grab the website name of Flipkart. I'll take a copy of this. I'll go ahead as a Flipkart. I'll add a Flipkart. I will also go ahead and say Amazon India, that is amazon.in. Sorry. Copy thing. Amazon, and third one, I guess I have it here, which is Reliance Digital. So I'll go ahead here and add the third. Okay. So now I'm going to add these three knowledge sources which are publicly available. I'm going to add this. Done, right? So we are pretty much done with our first child agent, which is Maharashtra product information, very specific for this list of mobile phones that are highlighted. I'll go ahead and go back to agent tab here. And now I'm going to add another agent, another child agent for the Karnataka region. So same process follow. I'm going to copy the name of the agent here, click on the new child agent again here, specify the name of the Karnataka. I think I did some spell mistake. We'll just double check. Okay, and I'll also provide the description. I'm not going to read out the descriptions here because it is pretty much same. Although here I'm going to select the market variable, and here I'm going to select a Karnataka. Okay, there I did the mistake. Okay, let me just change. I think I need to change. I'll go back. I'll go back to the topic here in the topic here. Somewhere I mentioned the Karnataka. I'll mention, oh, sorry. Spell mistake here. Okay, so it is Karnataka spelling mistake is detected now. I apologize for that. I think it was a typo from my side. I'll go back I'll go back to the agent now and I'll delete this one. Go back and create a new agent for Karnataka product information. I'll go ahead and click on the child agent and I'll provide the agent name. I'll provide the description. I'll just simply copy paste here, which is very similar to what we have earlier. I'll copy paste this description here as well. Okay. The advanced, I'll select the variable this time as and I'm going to select the variable as Karnataka because this is very specific for the region of the Karnataka. What is left? The public websites. I'm going to repeat this again. And let me just copy the Amazon here first. Then I'll back the Reliance one. I'll go back. Flipkart one. Let's copy and quickly run through it. I think we are running out of time. Let's quickly just. So I have added the three links here. One is Amazon, Reliance Digital, and Flipkart. I'm going to add this here. Okay. So now we are done with our another child agent, right? I'm going to save this. So far, so good.
Yeah,
Rakesh,
Rakesh.
there was,
Good.
sorry, one question, please.
Yeah.
There was one flag, in that one that enable your agent to search the web public website. Do we need to enable that?
Which flag?
Oh, yeah, in the screen, see here in the pub knowledge section. Yeah.
Yeah. So here I have purposefully disabled it because I'm not expecting agent to read the information which might lead to the purpose of the hallucination. Okay. I want agent to use this knowledge source which I really want to enable it. We'll see that in action when we'll see if that information is not ready. Okay. So now we are, if I just do a quick recap, we created our the sales support assistant agent, which is my parent agent. Then I created the two agent for the product information to retrieve the product information from a specific region. And I have decorated the regions by adding a topic here, which market, whether it's a Maharashtra and Karnataka here. And that's how we created child agents now, right? Now, as a test, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and test it. So we'll do one thing. Let me just go back and reset this, and I'll just quickly check. I'm going to select my Maharashtra region. My agent should get triggered now, and I'm going to put my prompt for the Maharashtra region. That what is the price of iPhone 16 in the Mumbai and with current offers. So, since I'm using the Cloud Sonnet 4.5 model, you can see this additional option is available, kind of giving a human thinking, right? The information that user has provided to retrieve the informations using this sort of information. Wait for 2 minutes. There you go. So it has nicely drafted the information for my iPhone 16 request and also retrieve the information only for a specific region of Maharashtra. So that's how we have done with the child both through child agent, right? And both the child agents are linked to the condition based Maharashtra and the or for that matter Bangalore. Okay. So if I just again create a new sessions and this time I'm going to test with Karnataka, let's see what it results. And I'm going to create the information different prompt here that show me the 1+15 rather than iPhone offers in the Bangalore stores and see how it goes. Yes, we have 10 minutes left. We just quickly run through it. There you go. So you can see here, it is clearly highlighted. You can visit the Reliance Digital Store in the Bangalore to avail these offers, and nicely drafted. So what we have achieved, we have directed the child agent, which is specific for the region, and it is my parent agent is driving that information with the help of the topic. Now let's go back to the slide deck. So let me just zoom in. So we talked about this and we build this. Now we talked about this and also build this. Now let's talk about the another use case, which is the account and the contact information agents. Okay. Why I have added this purposefully? Because you might have noticed here when I added the agent here, and when I click on the agent, probably you would have seen the option called child agent. But as the layer one that we covered, layer two, as per the slide deck, what we're going to cover, if you have any other agent created, like I have created a bunch of agents here, couple of agents that Microsoft has shipped, but one of the agent that I created and the published, which is account data lookup agent, I'll quickly run through it, how I created, um, and how that can be connected to my parent agent. Okay, we will see that. And then third, which is a last layer four, which is our external agent. So what I have done, I'll just go back to the agent page here. I just created these agents. But before I created the agents, you can see here for this agent, I have just simply created agents, which allows, look up information on the account and the account context that we have in Dataverse. And that's the reason I have added the contact and the account entities here by just adding a knowledge and by clicking on data. Was pretty simple, right? But the point which I'm trying to highlight, how that information can be used as an indexing capability here. So you can navigate to, let me just open the admin center as well. So I'll just quickly run through the instructions that have initially configured for my environment, and then I created this data agents which will connect to our parent agent. So you can navigate to the your admin center, go to the environments. This is the environment that I'm using it for our demo purposes, and you can just navigate to the Dataverse and the settings here. You can see here in the option called products and navigate to the feature. I have enabled the option called Dataverse search. That is where I wanted to use my Copilot agent to use that as a knowledge source and start interacting, enabling the Dataverse search, which is nothing but the indexing capability that we have in Dataverse. By default, this option is set as a default, but for this use case purpose, I enable it by default. So that is the first option that you have to enable in your environment in order to connect to the another use case that I'm trying to highlight. Then you can go to the maker portal of the Power Apps. Again, the same environments, and navigate to the bunch of tables. I have loaded the tables for account and the customers because I wanted to have that agent, a specific agent, which can give me information of my accounts and the contacts, right? So in order to enable that information for your agent, not just using the entities, what you need to do, you have to navigate to the accounts table. I'll just quickly close this panel. Account as a table or the entity. Go to the data experiences option and navigate to the view. Once you navigate to the view, you will see a bunch of views that are available. Navigate to the view called quick find active accounts. And once you navigate to that, you will see the bunch of options and the columns that are available, right? Before this demo, I've added an additional bunch of columns here. By default, you will see a column until only email, but I added an additional column as a, the column of address, state, and zip code, and the revenue and currency. And you can see a bunch of data I also manipulated for the purpose of our discussion, such as the Maharashtra and the Karnataka region. You can add this by adding the view column. Okay, you can select the column and it will automatically will get added. And that's how your options, because this is what I wanted to add the ability to search on a certain fields. Same activity I did for the, go back, tables, same activity I did for contact as well. Okay, one of the point I just wanted to highlight here, which I learned while doing that information, I'll showcase for contact entity. When you navigate to the view, that's respective view of the quick find and active account view or the contact view here. And when you try to add, let me just go back here, navigate this. When you try to add any additional maybe column here, you can see here on the right hand side, save and publish option. Let's wait that option to be disable it and let's option that finish, because what it does in the background, it try to publish that view and build the indexes for you. I'm not going to do it now, it takes some time. And if you just ignore that and press a back button, then that information will not be leveraged by the agents by using this view called quick find active contact or quick find active account in the case of the account entity. Now I'm done with this. I just simply go ahead and created the account data lookup agents. You can also do it by just clicking quick agents or using the copilot here. But if I want to really do this independent testing of these agents, so I just drafted a prompt here. I'll just copy paste and say, show me what are the accounts in Mumbai, because I have manipulated a bunch of data, and that bunch of data and a couple of data, basically that data is pointing to my Mumbai and the Karnataka, that is the Bangalore region. Okay, so you can see it will go back and check the data was the knowledge source that I added for account and the customers, and it will retrieve the information. So you can see here we have only City Power and 8 data corporations. So I'll just quickly go back and go to the tables. Just open the table view. So you can see here Mumbai and the City Power. These are the two records that I have modified for the demonstration purpose, and agents have retrieved. It means the account data lookup that I have created is rightly connected with my knowledge, and that knowledge that I already enable the feature as data verse indexes, and automatically that index is helping me to get a data from Dataverse. So I'm done with this account agent. I'll go back our parent agent again, which is the sales support assistant agent. And this is where our use case. Now, these independent agents that I have created for account and contact information, is time to now connect to my parent agent, right? So what I'm going to do for that purpose, I'm going to add, I'm going to click my agent. I'm going to add an agent, but this time rather than creating a new child agent, I'm going to look up for the agent that I have already created. So this time I created an agent called account data lookup agents. So I'm going to select this agent. You can see here automatically this agent descriptions and instructions is automatically picked up. And there is a one checkbox you can see here, pass the conversation history. I would highly recommend to set this option, otherwise you will automatically prevent the conversation history. But I really want that history to be preserved. So I thought, let's go and pass the conversation history to this agent so that I can have informative conversation with this agent. So I'm going to go ahead and add and configure the agent in this scenario. So you can see here the agents is automatically added. There is no option save enable because I just quickly, I just link that option. Everything is done now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back here, my sales agent. I'm going to start a new session. In this new session, it will again go back to my topic. And this time I'm going to select the topic of Maharashtra. Let me see if I have any. Okay, let me just take this particular case. I'm going to type this, what are my details of account in the Mumbai region. Since I'm selected the Maharashtra, ideally it should give me only that contextual knowledge that the Maharashtra is the region, right? So it will go back and it will reason, it will look up for that entities that I have bind, which is account and the contact both. So while it is retrieving the results, anyone has any question?
Rakesh, there are a few questions in the chat.
Okay.
Pick from the top maybe.
I'll just toggle between question and output.
I can read it for you if you want.
No, I can toggle between now. Okay. How are such agent between the environment? Does all child agent needs to be part of the same solutions? It is okay. I think we have received the information, but I'll first take this question and then I'll go back to the output. So I think, as I rightly mentioned at the beginning of this call or a session, it is always best practice to have all the agents be part of the same solution in order to manage the entire, the life cycle of all the agents. Because if you have a different solution for a different agents, it might be a cumbersome activity if you really wanted to have that ALM process to be automated. The first question is, how are such agents move between the environments? Maybe if Sanjeev, if you can just talk more on that. Are you talking about very specific Copilot Studio agents, or are you talking about the Office 365 agents that can be moved, how those can be moved to the Copilot Studio agents? Okay, I'll go back to the output here. So as you can see, with the help of the parent agent, my another agent that I created for account and the contact data lookup agent, it automatically, nicely drafted the information for me based on the regions and the indexing capability that I've added in the Dataverse. Okay. Now we are moving towards the fourth use case, which is how we can integrate my parent agent to connect to the Fabric data agents. Okay. For those who are not aware of the Fabric, it's another, I would say, a kind of a lake, kind of a data estate from Microsoft, which allow you to bring everything, not only just data, but also the Power BI capability and all. But what if there is a bunch of agent that comes with the Fabric, and one of the agent is a data agent, and how you can use that data agent in the Copilot Studio with the capability that Copilot Studio allows. Okay, so what I have done, I have created the trial version of the 60 days the Fabric. Unfortunately, the data agent requires the paid license. I think I have already validated this. Sorry, I already validated this in the Microsoft portal, and but I can just quickly run through. So once you have that proper license, you can create your own workspace. The way I created my workspace, and then I added the folder so that I can accommodate everything together. I can then go ahead and add a new item here. I can just search with the data agent. That is where this is the agent that Fabric allows, which allow you to answer the complex questions based on the data in the form of the conversation interfaces. Then you can specify the agent here, like specify my name, RD agents. Since I don't have the paid licenses, it will not allow me to go ahead and create, because it's asking me that I don't have that proper SKU for it. But had it been a case, then I would have that agent created here, and then I would have navigate to again the agent tab. I would have agent tab, and then click on the add agent. And then here I can create and select the connect to an agent to the external agents, where I can not only just connect the Fabric, but also create a Foundry and the Office 365. I'm still exploring the three options. Maybe we can have another demo in coming week time where we focus on agent to agent specific, which I'm spending my time to learn that how it works. But if uh, if if I was having the Fabric paid licenses, then I can just simply connect with that and simply click on the next button, and then here I can see a bunch of information will be added here. Right now, I don't have added any agents in the Fabric, so I can't see everything. And the moment I click on the add content, it will again navigate to my workspace. Unfortunately, I don't have license. But the topic, what I'm trying to highlight, that the four use cases that we try to cover, right? By creating the child agents, then we also connected the existing agents, and we also trying to connect to the external agents using the Copilot capabilities. So as a key takeaway, we have seen the three. I'll just go back to the slide deck again. We have seen the four use cases, and what we have learned. First, we learn how to connect an agent using the extended reach, like child agents, and how those child agents can be connected. Then we also try to see the existing agents, how that existing agent can be connected to the parent agent. And then we also try to see the conversation history by enabling the passkey options in the using the Dataverse indexing capability in the account data lookup agents, right? And the fourth option we just talked about, where we saw the fabric and fabric data agents can also be connected here. I'll take a one more minute and just quickly run through this. This is the step 1, then step 2, 3, and 4 that we talked about. One of the last message before I go and address all the questions here, I know we are already on top of the hour, that try to stop building the fragile sort of single agents where the single agent might lead to the hallucination. If you have a different business process and an instruction, try to use the different child agents, and child agents can be connected to one parent agent. Okay, I'll take a pause and then I'll go back to the questions. I think we are on time, right?
Yeah, Rakesh, we're a little bit over time, but I think let's take a few questions. We can maybe take another 5 minutes. But I think it was worth spending time.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead with the second question. Can we publish the agent to a specific users? I think we have a bunch of channels here. So if I just go back here and look at the channels, so you can share, you can select any challenge here, and then that you can publish that agent. And I think John is asking the question how to get the trial for Copilot Studio for Learning. Maybe John, you can ping me on LinkedIn. I'll guide you, but it is pretty simple. You have to have Office 365 account, and once you have the Office 365 account, then you get a 30 days of trial license of Copilot Studio. The only downside of the Copilot trial license that you can do whatever you want to do it the way I'm explaining, but you will not be able to publish that agents to any channel the way I published earlier, right? You cannot publish, you cannot use any channel. That's the only limitation that I have seen so far. Giri is asking, if you create 2 child agents inside a parent agent, can we use those child agents separately outside the parent agent? I think my answer would be yes. If you look at this scenario, then this is an indirect independent agent, then you can certainly use this as a separate agent. I think I showed you while using the prompt. But if you create the child agent, then you cannot use it. Okay. I think I'll take one more question here. Karthik, agent created with MCP posting in Teams, sometimes not working. I think Karthik, it is very specific question. Maybe we can discuss offline. Giridhar again asking, when we check with the prompt with the Maharashtra in the last, the agent retrieve the information only for Reliance.com and not for other websites. Won't it retrieve or compare with? I think you're right, because my instruction does not specifically highlight the compare and retrieve the information others. I purposefully specifically talk about, and the prompt that I crafted purposefully, because that product was available in the Reliance digital store. So that might be the case. Giridhar, you have seen that information, but I think I have not specifically drafted any sort of instruction which can only give me a RelianceDigital.com information or the product list. Okay. I think we are already on top of the hour. Let's go back and stop my sharing.
Yep. Thanks, Rakesh.
No problem, Satya.
So if you have more questions, maybe connect with Rakesh on LinkedIn, send a message on LinkedIn. Rakesh is very prompt in replying. I have tried many times. Maybe it's time to just spend one more minute to talk about our next session. Next session is coming very soon on 27th March, actually, 27th March, which is on MCP for finance and operations. This is sorry, this is for analytics, right? BPA, Rachit, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's for the new MCP server
M-
for
MCP
analytics.
for BPA, yeah. So we have our guests, Ginny Wong and Shivam Pandey, which have been with us before also when there was no AI or MCP that time. We were talking about BPA in general, but now we'll be talking about uh, MCP and how do they create agent and query the data in a new way. Okay, again, thank you very much, Rakesh, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And hope to see you soon in the next session.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Rakesh.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for
Thanks, Rakesh.
joining.
Bye.
Very insightful session.
Indeed.